Hi, it's Bob Hoopshire, and this is the Gaining Perspective podcast, where we bring you insightful conversations with some of the top thought leaders in the investment advisor profession and investment management industry. I am the founder of Advisor Perspectives and a vice chairman of Vetify. Andrew Altfest has had a unique journey through the advisory profession. He joined the firm that was founded by his father, Lew Altfest, and rose to become president of Altfest Personal Wealth Management, an RIA based in New York. He then founded the technology firm FP Alpha and became its CEO. And Andrew is going to walk us through that journey and how he became an advisor and how that experience led to the creation and evolution of FP Alpha. We'll learn about how the expectations of advisors and their clients are changing and how that has led to the introduction of advanced technology based on artificial intelligence and how that allows firms to scale their practices with innovative technology. Andrew, as I mentioned, is the founder and CEO of FB Alpha, the first AI driven comprehensive wealth management solution. It covers more than 16 areas of financial planning. So, Andrew, as I mentioned, you are the president of Altfest Personal Wealth Management. That is a $1.6 billion RIA in New York City. And you have a deep connection to the planning profession from a very young age. So tell me about your personal story, your career path, how you became an advisor, and how that led to FP Alpha.
Yeah, Bob. First, pleasure to be here with you today. So, as you mentioned, I come from a family of financial advisors. My father, Lew Altfest, started Altfest Personal Wealth Management way back in 1983, and my mother joined a few years later. And at that time, back in the early 80s, starting an RIA firm was very unusual, and the profession was closer to being in its infancy. And I remember uh, car rides with my parents, who were just like any other business owners, talking about the business, things that they were working on. And I remember going around to conferences with them. My father was one of the founding members of NAPFA, the National Association of Personal Financial Advisors, and going to NAPFA conferences and just uh, being around other advisors and hearing about the profession. And I grew up around the profession. I grew up around um, admiring the profession, and it was a great time in retrospect, because this is when people were really very smart people trying to build businesses and think about the business model that ultimately has become more of a reality. And I wanted to get involved. I wanted to, uh, like many people, my first calling was to work on the investment side. Uh, Over time, I've expanded my work and found a love for financial planning as I was working with clients and understanding more of everything that was important to them, investments, but beyond how to achieve their different life goals, and where I could help and where we could help as advisors. And I have a love for the profession. Some years later, I decided to start a software company, but I guess that's chapter two.
Well, let's talk about chapter two. So tell me how you took your journey from having a successful advisory practice, and how did you find the time to launch a company? I think you launched it in 2020. What was the catalyst behind that decision?
Yeah, so I saw a big need a few years ago, that there was a what I call the advice gap that existed, where we would ask our clients what they wanted more help with, and they would tell us, I want you to help more with estate planning. I want you to help more with tax planning and insurance planning. And the tools that we had were helping clients. We had plenty of tools to help on the investment side. We had tools that would um, help them understand whether they can retire comfortably. Uh, what we didn't have was we didn't have any tools that would help with all the other things that they needed help with. So what I was doing and what uh, our whole team was doing was going out and reading complex legal documents and wills and trusts and reading their tax returns and their insurance policies, and then combining that with very detailed checklists that we had built to try to find and surface issues that they needed to take care of. There was just no way to scale that work. There's no way to actually do this work. There's only so much time in the day, and you can perhaps we could justify doing this for the wealthiest clients that we had, and in this very manual, time consuming manner. But there was no way that we could do this for the average client. So I didn't understand why there was technology for everything else in the financial planning relationship, but there wasn't technology for that would assist us in helping with all of our clients' problems. And what uh, I knew enough, uh, just being having an interest in what's going on in our broader economy with the advancements in technology like AI, that we didn't need to be doing that there was technology that would be able to help us, um, and be a strong partner. And I wanted to see how far we could push it. This was back in when I first started working on the concept for FP Alpha. This was back in 2017. So there was at that time, certainly a lot of conversation around machine learning. And as I started to explore what could be done, I was very pleasantly surprised. I was, reading a legal document, having AI read it and understand it, it could be done. And I saw this as a way to, I saw what ultimately became FP Alpha as a way not only to help our clients, but really in terms of my own mark that I wanted to make on the industry. I saw this as something that was very personal to me, and something that where I could help other advisors, and by helping other advisors, help many people um, uh, really better achieve their goals, get themselves out of potentially very bad situations, have advisors provide even more value. I think this is even more important today than it has been, as there's much more competition on the investment side these days. So this would have advisors provide a secret sauce. And what FP Alpha does is it allows advisors to just simply upload their clients' documents and uses AI to read them, visualize them, find gaps and opportunities, and give those back to advisors to share with their clients. So, what would have taken hours and hours of time to, read a legal document, for example, and have it uh, map out a flow chart and find what's wrong and can be improved, now takes no time at all. And that's the beauty of where we are with software in today's economy. So that's how FP Alpha came about, and it really just came from a pain point and that I had, and I wanted to, and the mark and contribution I wanted to make to our profession.
That's wonderful. And I know that we have hosted a webinar where you've presented a lot of the features about FP Alpha. And I'll include a link to that webinar in the notes that accompany this podcast, where our listeners can actually see what some of the things that FP Alpha offers, how they work. Um, Talk a little bit about how client expectations have changed, particularly with respect to how they look for an advisor now versus even just 5 years ago.
Yeah, I think client expectations have changed significantly, and so there are lots of different people, eh, who you'll speak to. But the today, when you're meeting with new clients, what we're noticing is there are people who are inclined to do it themselves on the investment side, and they've read about that they shouldn't, that they should not be using a financial advisor, that they should be doing something on their own or through some type of automated platform at a very low cost. And so there's what I would that's much more that's competitive. That's on the competition side. So what what we found is that we um, have to make it very clear about what, in addition, they're going to get to beyond investments. And people have more of that need perhaps met on the investment side or believe that they do, but their needs on the broader planning side are completely chaotic, and they're missing lots of opportunities and not getting any help. I mean, they're in effect they're being their own financial planner, and they have, if you don't have a financial planner, you don't, you have some plan, right? It's a plan that might have been accidental or might have been put together through some blogs that you've read or some your family telling you, giving you some advice, but it's certainly not optimized. And so they're coming to us and saying, yeah, I have this tax situation, or I have this estate situation, and what, uh, investments, I'm not so sure if I should be, what you're going to be able to add value beyond what I can do. And but they're receptive to help in these areas in which they're not getting any advice today, and they know that those areas, can't, they can be doing better. So I think I think the competitive situation with lots of, on the investment side, with more of this belief that they should be self managing, or going through some low cost platform. I think that's been changing the competitive side of things, and I think that's the way that we've been addressing it, and that we see other advisors addressing it, is by offering more services comprehensively to clients.
When you think about those comprehensive services, I know that a lot of them now are being powered by AI, or have the potential to be powered by AI, as you mentioned earlier, for example, in its ability to scan and diagnose a legal document and find gaps in the way an advisor can help. Talk about how artificial intelligence is advancing the wealth management profession and helping clients achieve better outcomes.
Yeah, well, it's changing things drastically, and I think what's here is only a snippet of what is yet to come. And I think that the future is pretty. I think it's pretty clear as to what's going to happen. We've been setting the stage for artificial intelligence to play a huge role in our lives, and how we work as advisors and how we help clients for many years. We've been digitizing client information, uh, and collecting much more information about from our clients. We do it through our CRMs, we do it through our planning tools, we do it through our investment accounting platforms. We're capturing their documents. Now that data that we have, this digital, huge amount of digital data that we have about our clients, we're now able to take that using AI and turn it into actionable advice. And increasingly, that will be the way that we will be working as advisors. Will be to get automated insights, and to take the things that we as advisors have been doing ourselves, and without a genius assistant, and be able to turn to technology to be a very helpful aid in the work that we do. And so we've been automating for years the back office stuff. We've been automating for a long time the repetitive work. But the work that we as advisors have been do all day long, if I walk around at Altfest and look over the shoulder of one of our advisors, they're going to either be on the phone with a client, emailing a client, or doing some analytical work for a client. Now, that work we have not had technology be a strong partner in. We've been using tools that where we they're helpful analytical tools, but they're really driven by us, and they require a lot of time to actually work through to get something done, and it limits the amount of what we can do for clients and also how many clients we can work with. Now that with artificial intelligence, the data that we have about clients will be able to will give us insights into the client and into the advice for the particular client. So if I'm working with a client, I'll give you an example. There's a client that I'm working with right now at Altfest. Now he has he's over the estate tax, New York State. This is a New York resident over the New York State tax exemption. So he's looking at an estate tax bill. So knowing just that person's balance sheet, we can first detect the problem, which is they have an estate tax issue that they're probably not aware of, that sneaks up on you as your assets grow. And then what are the different ways of being able to solve that issue? How to solve that issue? You have an issue. Now, what can you do? Do you convert to a Roth IRA? Do you make gifts today? How do those gifts impact your overall financial plan? Meaning, can you afford to make those gifts? So these are the types of things that today or before artificial intelligence, you would either go undetected because who has the time to do all this work, and perhaps everyone's competency. Some of us spend our time on investments. Some of us have backgrounds in tax. Some of us have interests in hate insurance, and some of us, it could be the opposite. So it's either we don't have the time, and the playing field might not be level. But now these types of issues with just having the data and how to solve the issue, we are able to use artificial intelligence to be able to turn this into actionable advice, and it's just going to increase in terms of what can be done. And you look at the CFP board came out actually with a very short, interesting study last year called "Future Proofing Your Firm." And here you have the CFP board telling in this study telling everyone that they should be thinking about automating the entire planning process and spending more time with clients, freeing up time that normally would have been spent on this analytical work, on the information gathering, on the analyzing, on the recommendations and the monitoring. We should be turning that over to technology and thinking about changing our business models so that we're spending more time with clients, we're spending more time coaching clients, spending more time on their most complex issues in which technology, is still is going to be helpful, but advisors are still going to be using their judgment and creativity and problem solving to help clients with. So spending more time that way and changing our business models, because AI is going to require us to do things differently, and if we don't get on board with it, then we are of course at risk of falling behind. And so I think that's how AI is already. First of all, AI is already here, and I think the future is pretty clear as to what's going to be happening in the going forward. Is that we're going to be increasingly having these a genius assistant in the form of technology that's going to allow us to be more of that general physician of finance, helping out with many, many different things and spending more of our time with our clients by freeing up time that used to be spent just analyzing and communicating.
So you're also the president of your $1.6 billion RIA. Tell me how you have applied that genius assistant to the achieve efficiencies within your RIA. What has been the return on investment? How do you measure that? And where do you really see the greatest benefit from FP Alpha in your own firm?
We have a big investment in technology at Altfest, and we use technology to grow our practice, to to save a lot of time, reduce the amount of time that we're spending on different things, to strategically make planning as important as investments in the relationship, to offer a full digital experience to our clients, and which is, increasingly important, increasingly the expectations of clients. So we we are using tools to automate a lot in the back office, and I would say a lot of unimportant things that clients would say are unimportant to them. I think, that's easy stuff. Then we're using technology and where we're most excited is in investing in technology that's allowing us to do more for clients, and without having to spend more time doing so. And that's what I would call that's in the artificial intelligence category. So the ways that we're using artificial intelligence at Altfest today is of course are using FP Alpha, that's automating estate reviews, tax reviews, and insurance reviews. And just by uploading the docs, client docs, we get a visualization. You can show client a full wealth distribution plan according to their documents through FP Alpha, just uploading the legal documents, and the same in tax and insurance. And then you get insights about how they can be doing better, and further model and solve problems. On the investment side, we have a similar process. We're using a technology solution called Virgil, to upload client investment documents, their statements, and have those read and the data extracted. And it's particularly helpful for prospective clients, because normally you would have, um, before using this solution, what you'd be doing is you'd be entering in all their investment positions and preparing a proposed portfolio, or a proposed portfolio, and also analyzing their portfolio, um, the old-fashioned way. And this is, which is throwing time at it. So we're using Virgil. We're also, on the digital marketing side, we're using a software platform called HubSpot, which is a very good tool. So if you go to any of our people who work in sales, and you look at what they're doing and what they have up in front of them, they're going to have up HubSpot. Now, HubSpot, what it does is it's almost like your sales coach, and it will tell you what to be doing all day long, who you should be reaching out to, what you should be talking to them about. Because let's say I'm sending in an email about Secure Act 2.0, and saying to a big lead list, and uh, and I see that 50 people have clicked on my article, and then 7 of those people have gone to my website. Well, then I know that those 7 people that went to my website, they're ready to become a prospective client, and I should reach out to them. And HubSpot is telling you that. So you have tools. What we're most excited about, we're investing most heavily in, is tools that tell you what to do, versus you trying to spend a huge amount of time to figure out what to do on your own through, a long analytical process. And it's like the equivalent of, let me take out a map and try to figure out how to get from New York to Connecticut and what the best route is. Well, no one's doing that anymore. We're using Waze or something else to tell us what is the shortest way route and where the traffic is the worst. And um, that's that's the experience that what we're investing in at Altfest is to actually save time and be able to do reallocate that time to more meaningful work and to have better outcomes in general by understanding the data and then the data telling us what our next best action is for clients or for bringing in business.
Tell me quickly how clients can or listeners can get in touch with you about FP Alpha and what does it cost and what are the first steps that they should take if they're thinking about implementing your system.
Yeah, so I would suggest starting with a demonstration of FP Alpha, and then you'll be able to better understand the platform, and then speaking to a member of our team so that we can better understand what issues that how you do work specifically and what issues you're trying to solve for. Are you trying to save time? Are you trying to expand your services? Um, and you can go to fpalpha.com/demo, and you book a time that's convenient for you. And we also have some additional information on our website about FP Alpha. So I would suggest starting on the website and then taking a look at getting a demo and to better understand the platform.
And we'll include a link to that website in the notes that accompany this podcast. Andrew, if there's a key takeaway that you would like to leave with our audience of advisors about the biggest factors that are impacting our profession, what would that be?
To boil it all down, I would say AI, because it's not just what's here; it's about what what is going to be here, and increasingly what we're investing in. And we could see that this is the talk of the town in our economy. It's clearly that it's artificial intelligence, and it just keeps getting more and more robust. The things that we started out to do back in 2017, um, those things weren't even possible, and now are possible. I mean, not all those things were possible at that time, and we were revisiting things that were thoughts years ago, and now the technology can make it possible. So, I think that it's clear that artificial intelligence is going to be the thing. Today is the thing that's saving time, and it's just going to be increasingly the thing that saves time and becomes, I think, makes us all more valuable to our clients. So I would be thinking about what is available today, and also thinking about the future and and in your planning, in your business planning. And if you do it at the end of the year, which a lot of people like to do, think about. Put I would be thinking about your business plans with artificial intelligence and saying, well, how is this going to impact how I work with clients? How can this allow me to grow my business further, and be even more indispensable to my clients? And think about it for next year, and think about it for the next few years, because I think it is that significant.
Thank you. And as I mentioned, we'll include some links in the notes that accompany this podcast. There'll be a link to the FP Alpha website where you can get a demo of FP Alpha. And I'll also include a link to the webinar that Andrew and I did, I think, year and a half ago. Andrew, is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, I think this was. I think we covered some good stuff. So, Bob, pleasure. Thanks for having me on, and I hope this was helpful for everyone on.
Well, you're welcome. And thank you for listening to the Gaining Perspective podcast with Bob Hoopsher, today featuring Andrew Altfest of FP Alpha. To support our podcast, please share, subscribe, or leave a review to help make our podcast more findable for your friends and colleagues. You can subscribe to Gaining Perspective on your favorite podcasting service.